Hey, what's up? I'm Coach Ryan Family from VIPAR. Today, here in the VIPAR pit, I'm going to give you some strategies for prioritizing your weak body parts. So everyone has a muscle they want to grow at a faster rate than others, or a muscle that they think is lagging behind. Today, I'm going to give you some concrete, practical strategies that you can use to incorporate into your programs. I am giving away my best stuff here for free, guys. There's no hook to try to charge you to a membership site or to buy anything. Today, I am giving you some practical advice that you probably haven't heard before in terms of how to maximally grow a specific muscle group or prioritize a certain body part. So, a couple principles to understand first. Muscle protein synthesis, or MPS, stays elevated in a muscle for around 36 hours post-workout. So once you stimulate those muscle fibers, you're going to be laying down new muscle at a faster or an elevated rate for around 36 hours, or about a day and a half. All right, this is an important principle in the prioritization concept. Why? Because most people, when they want to get jacked, they'll stimulate a muscle with a hard workout, they'll crush, and then they'll wait a whole week to stimulate it again. So basically, you're going to have elevated synthesis for a day and a half, and the other 5.5 days, it's just going to sit there with no further stimulation, okay, and no elevated growing. The next principle to understand, this could be a video all in and of itself. It could be a whole course actually, but I'm going to try to go over it really quickly. 3 quick triggers, the 3 stimuli, primary stimuli for elevating muscle protein synthesis are damage, so muscular damage, that is a breakdown in muscle fibers. Mechanical tension, that is high tension applied to the muscle tissue. And then metabolic stress, those are the byproducts of short rest period, higher repetition style workout programs. The burn, if you will, that's metabolic stress in a nutshell. So when we look at these things, these triggers for muscle growth, those are things we want to exploit when we're trying to get jacked. All right, so I have created a quick plan on the other side of this whiteboard. I know the anticipation's building for how to get bigger quads. This quadriceps plan is specific to the quads, but it's also relevant to any other muscle group you want to go. You can use this template for any other muscle group that you want to build. But the primary principle behind prioritization when we're talking about new muscle mass is we are going to train for 3 days in a row. That's right, 3 days in a row. So we're going to elevate muscle protein synthesis with a hard training session. We're going to eat good quality protein, good carbs, good fats. Then a day later, we're going to train again. So we're going to spike that protein synthesis again. And then another day later, we're going to train again. So we're having that muscle protein synthesis basically for the better part of the week. So it will remain elevated for 36 hours after that last session. So at that point, we're talking about 4.5 days of continued elevated protein synthesis. Who's going to grow more? The guy that's got protein synthesis elevated for 4 straight days, or the guy that only has it elevated for 1 day in a week, okay? Think about that. So we're gonna train 3 days in a row. In this example, day 1 is gonna be your hardest and heaviest and most, your exercises that are least joint friendly. So the ones, these are your big compound movements, the barbell movements that tend to create the most, I don't wanna say joint pain, but they're harder on the body. So on Monday you come in for quadriceps, let's say, you do heavy front squats, 6 sets of 6. It's a lot of volume, it's heavy weights, and it's a big movement, lots of weight. So in that regard, what are we taxing? We're taxing the mechanical tension aspect of growth because high tensions from heavy weights. Then we're gonna do eccentric sissy squats. So eccentric, we're basically doing an 8-0-1-0 tempo. That means 8-second lowering. We're focusing on the eccentric phase. It's 3 sets of 3 to 5 here. Now this is an eccentric overload sissy squat. So you're gonna lower more weight than you can lift. So you lower down in 8 seconds, drop the weight, stand up, get the weight back up, do another slow tempo, supramaximal lowering. This is a damage aspect. You're gonna create a ton of muscle damage through your eccentric actions. So we're really nailing damage and tension on that first Monday. Now, you're gonna be sore, you're gonna be tired. We're gonna come in on Tuesday and we're gonna do a superset, A1, A2. That means you do a back-to-back with no rest. then you take a longer rest at the end. We're doing leg press, 4 sets of 15 to 20, and then dumbbell lunge, 4 sets of 8 to 10. Those are 2 exercises that really target the quads. And they're slightly more joint friendly than, say, barbell squatting movements or the deep ranges of motion from the eccentric sissy squat. These are movements that you can do if you're a little sore and tired and fatigued. Now, doing these back to back is going to create a good pump. So you're going to get a lot of tension, mechanical tension, because the leg press is a heavy movement. But you're also going to get metabolic stress because you're doing these back to back with no rest in between. All right, so now you're beat up, you're sore, you're tired, you can barely walk. But on Wednesday, we're still gonna hit the quads, baby, because we still wanna get that muscle protein synthesis elevated. First thing you're gonna do, blood flow restriction leg extension. BFR is too much to go into deep detail in this video, but basically you're gonna have wraps at the high end of your thighs. You're going to occlude the muscle. You're gonna occlude blood flow so that you limit the venous return, which means that blood is going to pool in the legs. So you get a huge hit of metabolic byproducts with not a lot of weight. So you're gonna do 8 sets of 50 reps, short rest intervals, and really light weights. I'm talking baby weights, barely perceptible weights. You can grow muscle with BFR techniques with as little as 10% of your max. Okay, so not a lot of weight. It's gonna be a painful burn and a painful pump though. We're gonna finish up with backward sled drag, 6 sets of 50 yards, holding the strap out in front of you, and then just driving backwards with the quads. I like this for the final day because it's concentric only. There's no eccentric component, so there's less muscle damage. It fits into the theme of metabolic stress without being too hard on the joints. These are 2 joint-friendly exercises that are easy to do if you're already beat up. Then the rest of the week, you're gonna eat and rest and prepare for the next Monday where you're gonna go to battle with the weights again. Quick side note, it drives me nuts. I know I just said go to battle with the weight. Weight training is a hobby. It's not going to war. You're not going to battle. So stop acting so tough. I just said that, but for those of you that say, I'm going to war. No, you're not. You're not going to war. You're doing your hobby. You're exercising, all right? But it doesn't mean you don't work hard. So we're gonna save up for that hard work on Monday, and then we're gonna repeat it again each week with a little bit heavier weights and a little bit more stress and a little bit more food. You do it like this, you will grow that weak body part. Now the other critical part of this is that the volume for the rest of your body training should be reduced, okay? So you are going to put, if you're doing a quadricep specialization program, your upper body work is going to be more on maintenance, okay? You only have so much recovery ability. We don't want to overtax the system. It's like a bank account. If you're spending all your bank dollars on recovering from quadriceps work, you don't have as much money to spend over on back work and chest work and shoulder work, things like that. So put that stuff on maintenance. It's not going to go away. Maintenance, 2 to 3, 2 to 5 work sets in a week, you're good to go, okay? I'm Coach Ryan Family from the VIPAR Pit. If you found this video useful, please hit subscribe below. I'll see you next time.